Exploring the Satmar Hasidic community, a tale of struggle and yearning for freedom. Imagine a city surrounded by towering walls, where the inhabitants live according to a set of rules and traditions that seem alien to the outside world. This is not a scene from a dystopian novel, but a real-life depiction of the Satmar Hasidic community in Brooklyn, New York, as portrayed in Deborah Feldman's memoir, Unorthodox, The Scandalous Rejection of My Hasidic Roots. The Satmar Hasidic community is a world unto itself, a place where Yiddish is the primary language and modern technology is largely shunned. The community's insularity is profound, with members rarely interacting with the outside world. Feldman recounts how she was taught to fear non-Jews and was forbidden from reading English books, which were considered impure. The community's strict religious and cultural practices permeate every aspect of daily life. For instance, Feldman describes how women are required to shave their heads after marriage and wear wigs, a practice that symbolizes their modesty and devotion to their husbands. The community also observes the Sabbath with a rigor that prohibits even the use of electricity. Women in the Satmar Hasidic community are expected to fulfill traditional roles, primarily as wives and mothers. They are discouraged from pursuing education or careers outside the home. Feldman, for example, was married off at 17 and became a mother at 19. These restrictions, coupled with the community's insularity, create a sense of confinement that is palpable in Feldman's narrative. From a young age, Feldman felt a sense of not belonging. She was different, curious, and hungry for knowledge. The expectations placed on her, to be a dutiful wife and mother, to conform to the community's strict rules, felt suffocating. She yearned for freedom, for a life beyond the confines of the community. This yearning for freedom, however, came at a cost. Feldman's struggle with her identity and her rejection of her Hasidic roots were seen as scandalous by her community. She was ostracized, labeled a rebel, a sinner. But for Feldman, this rejection was a necessary step towards the freedom she craved. Feldman's story is a powerful exploration of the tension between individual freedom and communal belonging. It sheds light on the complexities of closed communities, where tradition and conformity often clash with the human desire for personal freedom and self-expression. It's a tale of struggle, of yearning, and ultimately, of liberation. Point 2. The struggles of an arranged marriage at 17. In the heart of Brooklyn, a 17-year-old girl finds herself standing under a wedding canopy, her heart pounding with fear and uncertainty. She's about to marry a man she barely knows, a man chosen for her by her community. This isn't a fairy tale wedding, it's an arranged marriage in the ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jewish community. The protagonist's journey into an arranged marriage is not one of choice or agency. Instead, it's a path laid out for her by tradition and expectation. She's expected to marry young, bear children, and devote her life to her family and faith. But this life, chosen for her, feels like a prison. The protagonist's dreams, desires, and ambitions are stifled, replaced by the duties and responsibilities of a wife and mother. Married life is not what she imagined. Her husband is a stranger, their relationship devoid of love or intimacy. She's expected to conform to strict gender roles, her life revolving around cooking, cleaning, and caring for her husband. The pressure to conform, to fit into the mold her community has set for her, is suffocating. It's a life of constant scrutiny, where every action is judged, every deviation from the norm punished. The birth of her son brings new responsibilities and pressures. Motherhood in the Hasidic community is not just about nurturing and caring for a child, it's about raising the next generation of devout Hasidic Jews. The protagonist is expected to instill in her son the same values and traditions that have confined her. These added responsibilities further limit her freedom, her life becoming a cycle of endless chores and duties. Despite being surrounded by her community, the protagonist feels a deep sense of loneliness and isolation. She's different, her dreams and desires setting her apart from the other women in her community. She yearns for freedom, for a life beyond the confines of her community. But her dreams are seen as rebellious, her desires sinful. She's trapped in a life she didn't choose, a life that's slowly suffocating her. The protagonist's story is a stark reminder of the struggles faced by many young women forced into early arranged marriages. It's a tale of lost dreams and stifled ambitions, of a life lived under constant scrutiny and pressure. It's a call to action, a plea for understanding and change. Because no one, regardless of their faith or community, should be forced to live a life they didn't choose. Point 3. Exploring disillusionment and desire for independence. In the heart of Brooklyn, New York, a community thrives, bound by the strict religious and cultural practices of Hasidic Judaism. This community, seemingly a world unto itself, is the backdrop for Deborah Feldman's Unorthodox, the scandalous rejection of my Hasidic roots. Feldman's journey from a dutiful Hasidic woman to an independent spirit is a tale of disillusionment and a burning desire for independence. Feldman's journey begins with a spark of questioning. Raised in a community where religious doctrines are absolute, her initial doubts were akin to a small flame in a dark room. She began to question the stringent rules and regulations that governed her life, leading her to view her community through a different lens. This questioning was the first step towards her eventual disillusionment. The cultural practices of the Hasidic community, while deeply ingrained, often clashed with Feldman's personal beliefs. From the strict dress codes to the rigid gender roles, Feldman found herself at odds with the norms of her community. This conflict between her personal beliefs and the cultural practices of her community fueled her desire for independence. In her quest for answers, Feldman found solace in the secret world of secular books. These books, forbidden in her community, exposed her to different perspectives and ideas. This clandestine activity served as a catalyst for her growing desire for freedom. The more she read, the more she yearned for a life beyond the confines of her community. As Feldman's disillusionment with her community grew, so did her desire for independence. The strict religious doctrines, the cultural practices, and her secret reading of secular books all contributed to this intensifying desire. She yearned for a life where she could make her own decisions, free from the constraints of her community. The culmination of Feldman's journey was her bold decision to leave her community. This decision, while fraught with challenges, was a testament to her desire for independence. The factors that led to this decision were numerous, but at the heart of it was her growing disillusionment with her community and her desire for freedom. Feldman's journey from questioning to disillusionment to the desire for independence is a testament to the power of personal freedom and self-discovery. Her story serves as a reminder that questioning the status quo, challenging cultural practices, and seeking personal freedom are integral parts of the human experience. In the end, Feldman's unorthodox journey is a powerful narrative of personal growth and self-discovery. Point 4. Feldman's brave journey to freedom. Freedom, that sweet, intoxicating concept that has been the driving force behind countless human endeavors. It's the ability to live life on your own terms, to make your own choices, and to be the master of your own destiny. Now, imagine being born into a world where this freedom is nothing more than a distant dream, a world where every aspect of your life is dictated by a strict set of rules and norms. This was the world of a woman who dared to break free, to risk everything for the chance to live a life of her own choosing. This woman, born and raised in a Hasidic Jewish community in Brooklyn, New York, made the life-altering decision to leave everything she had ever known. The decision was not made lightly. She knew the risks, the potential ostracism, and the threats she would face. Yet, she was determined. She was willing to risk it all for the chance to taste freedom. After leaving her community, the woman faced the harsh reality of her decision. She was ostracized, threatened, and even faced a custody battle over her son. These challenges were a stark reminder of the oppressive nature of the community she had left. Yet, they also underscored the personal stakes involved in her decision. She was not just fighting for her freedom, but for the future of her son as well. Despite the challenges, the woman tasted freedom for the first time. It was a turning point in her life. She was no longer bound by the rules and norms of her community. She was free to live a life that aligned with her personal beliefs and values. This freedom was not just about being able to make her own choices, but about being able to live a life that was true to who she was. With her newfound freedom, the woman had the opportunity to forge her own path. She was no longer a passive participant in her life, but the active architect of her destiny. This opportunity was a testament to her resilience and determination. It was a testament to her courage to break free from the chains of her past and to embrace the possibilities of her future. In conclusion, the woman's journey to freedom was not an easy one. It was fraught with challenges and risks. Yet, it was a journey she was willing to undertake for the chance to live a life of her own choosing. Her journey serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of freedom and the courage it takes to pursue it. It serves as a testament to the human spirit and its unyielding desire for freedom. This woman is Deborah Feldman, and her story is a powerful testament to the transformative power of freedom. Her journey, as chronicled in her memoir Unorthodox, The Scandalous Rejection of My Hasidic Roots, serves as a beacon of hope for all those who yearn for freedom and are willing to fight for it. Point 5. Feldman's journey, from Hasidic community to self-discovery. In the heart of Brooklyn, New York, a young woman named Deborah Feldman was born into a world of strict rules, religious customs, and societal expectations. This world was the Satmar Hasidic community, a sect of ultra-Orthodox Judaism known for its insularity and adherence to a rigid set of customs. But Feldman's story, as told in her memoir Unorthodox, The Scandalous Rejection of My Hasidic Roots, is not one of conformity. Instead, it's a tale of transformation and transition, of a woman who dared to step outside the boundaries of her community and forge her own path. Feldman's departure from her Hasidic community was not a decision made lightly. It was a culmination of years of questioning, of feeling stifled and suppressed, of yearning for something more. The implications of this decision were profound, as it meant severing ties with her family, her friends, and the only life she had ever known. It was a leap into the unknown, a step towards a new identity. The transition to mainstream society was fraught with challenges. Feldman had to navigate a world that was vastly different from the one she had left behind. She had to learn new social norms, adapt to different cultural practices, and adopt new ways of thinking. It was like learning a new language, one that was foreign and unfamiliar. Education played a pivotal role in Feldman's journey. It was her gateway to the world outside her former community, a tool that helped her understand and engage with her new surroundings. She pursued her education with a fervor, driven by a thirst for knowledge that had been suppressed in her previous life. As a single mother, Feldman faced additional challenges. She had to balance her responsibilities as a parent with her pursuit of education and her efforts to adapt to her new life. It was a delicate balancing act, one that required strength, resilience, and determination. Yet, amidst the struggles and challenges, there was joy. The joy of self-discovery, of finding her own voice, of making her own choices. The joy of freedom, of living a life that was no longer dictated by others. This joy was a testament to her successful transition, a symbol of her newfound independence. Feldman's journey from her Hasidic roots to personal freedom is a testament to the power of resilience and determination. It's a story of a woman who dared to defy societal norms, to question the status quo, and to forge her own path. It's a story of transformation and transition, of a woman who found her own voice amidst the noise, who found freedom in the face of oppression. It's a story that inspires and challenges, that reminds us of the power of self-discovery and the joy of freedom. Point 6. Conclusion. Breaking free from the chains of a restrictive society is a journey of self-discovery and courage. It requires the strength to question the norms, the bravery to face the backlash, and the determination to carve out a new path. It's about finding your voice in a world that wants to silence you and standing up for your beliefs, even if you stand alone. Freedom is not just about physical liberation, it's about mental emancipation. It's about unlearning the beliefs that were forced upon you and learning to trust your instincts. It's about finding your identity outside of the one that was assigned to you. The journey to freedom is not easy, it's filled with obstacles and challenges. But it's also filled with moments of triumph and joy. It's about finding the strength within you to fight for your rights and the courage to live your truth. Remember, it's never too late to break free and start anew. It's never too late to reject the norms that don't serve you and embrace the life that you deserve. It's never too late to be unorthodox. In the end, the journey to freedom is not just about escaping from a restrictive society, it's about finding yourself. It's about discovering your strengths, embracing your flaws, and learning to love yourself for who you truly are. It's about living your life on your terms and finding happiness in your freedom.